in One Nation to another episode of the Hive podcast. TJ Winger, joined today by Lizzie Davis from the women's basketball team. Lizzie, thanks for taking some time and talking some hoops with us.
Yeah, no problem. Of course, I'm excited to be here.
Well, the season gets underway November 5th, playing host to Averett. I got to start right there. How excited are you to have the season back underway?
I'm super excited. It's definitely been different. Like, we just had a scrimmage yesterday and there was people there, so that's a big change, and I'm really excited for the season to get up and running and actually have people able to watch.
And that was down in Greensboro, right?
Yes.
And how did that go in your eyes?
I thought it went pretty well. Like, obviously, a scrimmage is to show us what we need to work on, but
Sure.
I thought overall it went really well. We did win, so that's always a plus.
A W is a W. And how was that aspect of having people in attendance? Because last year you basically had two spectators, and it was President Allison and First Gentleman Bob. And now you have the opportunity to play in front of a lot of people this year.
Yeah, I'm so thankful for them for coming to our games. It was great having at least someone in the stands. But yeah, it was very different having people there and just feeling the energy of the crowd. I loved it, and I'm so excited to get it started again.
I think one of the most exciting things for y'all coming into the season, one, you're the reigning ODAC champs. Got a little chip on your shoulder. You have that. Now, also, you have a target on your back now, too, across the ODAC. But that's a different talk. But also now, first-year head coach Allison Nichols taking over the program. How has that transition been in your eyes?
I think it's gone really well, actually. Coach Crump, first off, want to say thank her so much. She did such a good job. She was basically, coaching a whole team by herself, making all of the things behind the scenes, all of that. I know that there are all kinds of other people helping her, Britt and just, John Waters and everyone just helping, but she was doing a lot of things by herself. So I just want to thank her for that. But Coach Nichols and the other coaches have done great so far. I'm really excited about our first game. She's different, definitely. We have a different style of play, but I'm excited for it, and the whole team seems to be pumped about just starting new.
And Coach Nichols has been seemingly everywhere in the ODAC, also a Lynchburg native, so there's a lot of fun elements there and something that people can look forward to when they watch LHSN broadcasts and listen to me babble on about y'all. But let's talk about yourself now. Last year, scoring more than or just under 13 points a game, shooting over 40% from beyond the arc. We were just looking at some of your numbers. Nice jump from your sophomore to junior campaign. What are some of the things you've been working on coming into your senior season?
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this season. Not really much of a change, I don't think. Just trying to increase my numbers, like you said. But really, I'm big on facilitating. So making sure that as a point guard, my other teammates get involved, but not forgetting about myself is a big thing that I tend to do, pass too much. So I have to focus a little bit, be a little selfish sometimes. But yeah, I'm excited about keeping it going.
That's a fine line to walk as a point guard, right? You want to get the offense going, get the ball touching a lot of different hands, but you also sometimes got to take it yourself, and it's, like I said, a tough line to walk. How about some of the newcomers? Have there been anybody that has jumped off the page, for lack of a better term, or anybody who's really impressed you, caught your eye so far?
Well, we have 3 freshmen, so I'm excited about them. One of them was recently concussed, so she hasn't been able to do a lot with us so far, but I'm excited for her to get back on the court this week. And we've had 2 other freshmen, a post and a guard, so they're definitely going to contribute, I hope. So I'm excited for them. They have great opportunity to play and get some numbers then, so I'm excited.
And then talking about some returners, Erin Green, excited to see her play this year, but I have just got to know, how do you tell the vetters apart from one another? Because every time I've talked to them, I've gotten it wrong. So I got to know the inside scouting report. How do you tell Brooke away from Meredith?
Well, most of the time it's pretty easy because one of them's hurt. So
so whichever one's playing, you got to know the injury report. Gotcha.
So at the moment, Meredith is, returning to play slowly, but she's getting back there, and we're excited to have her soon. But Brooke is playing right now, so she's the one that's going to be on the court. But they usually have different hair lengths. I'd say Brooke usually has shorter hair, and Meredith's is a lot longer, so there's a difference.
Okay, I'm writing down these notes as we speak. That's fantastic. And something that we talked about just a moment ago is y'all are the reigning ODAC champions, 11-1 last year. And I've got to know from a player's standpoint, never got to win a championship in my own short-lived playing career. But as those final seconds are ticking off, and then you hear that buzzer, and wow, we just won the conference. What is that feeling like?
It was a great feeling. Like, obviously that's your whole goal, is to win ODACs and go on to the next, which is NCAA's, which we unfortunately didn't get to do. But I'm excited for that opportunity this year. Winning again would definitely be our goal, but going to the NCAA's is definitely something that's on our radar, because we were stripped of that opportunity last year because of COVID. But no, it was an amazing experience getting to ring the bell. With my basketball teammates is always a good time. I've done it twice with track, so it was really nice to be able to do it on the court.
Well, even ringing the bell is such an interesting thing here. Obviously, I'm in my first year here with the department, so when I hear ringing the victory bell, I think of it as a metaphorical thing. It's a literal process and an event here at the University of Lynchburg. So you've done it now 3 times between your time with track and basketball. Any favorites there? Any moments that stand out more than the others, or are they all pretty sweet in their own right?
They're all pretty sweet in their own right. Definitely different process for both of them. So, and definitely the ODACs last year for both, because, COVID and everything, and being able to come on top in a lot of different sports. Winning 8 ODACs is crazy, especially when, we have no fans and there's not all that energy. But big success for us here, and I'm hoping to do the same.
Well, and it's funny talking about that success, and then it kind of blends into that mentality you were just talking about. You want to get to NCAA. It's not, the conference is cool, but it's not enough. I've seen that across the board, a lot of sports here. So that raised expectation, that bar, and that comes with y'all as the reigning ODAC champs for women's basketball. Raised expectations have to be there, and how do you handle that? That's got to be something that adds a little bit more stress to what you're doing day in and day out. But how do you handle that?
I think a lot of things go back to what we learned last year. Like, you're never guaranteed that next game. You're never guaranteed that you'll even play because of COVID. But hopefully those things aren't going to happen this year. But I think it is the same mentality of just going in and getting 1% better. Every single time. Just every practice, we have to get just a little bit better. And then you don't have to think so much about, there's this pressure, like, we have to win. Like, if you just focus on this play, like, make a great pass, make a great shot, then it'll all fold in.
And you mentioned you're also a member of the track and field team, and, like, that in itself has just got to be a lot to handle on top of school. So I have got to know, how do you juggle 2 sports and the academic side? Because I'm stressed out as is, and I don't participate in any of that.
No, it's definitely about time management for sure. I have basketball and track, but I guess when you just focus in on basketball when it's basketball season, and then you got to switch mindset really quickly and go straight into track. I know last year was different because we weren't allowed to play at all in the fall, so I had 2 months from the day that we won ODACs to the day that we won ODACs again for track. So it's definitely different, but it's an immediate switch in mindset, and just, getting back into track shape and remembering how to run correctly.
Well, that is something that I want to ask you as well, is what are some of those differences? Because, right, like, being in shape for basketball can be a little bit different than, track and field, or, other schools will have other players who are dual sport athletes, but it's, it just varies a little bit there. What are some of those differences for you, and how you take care of your body and things like that?
Yeah, there is a big difference with basketball. You're just on the court for like 2 hours and you're just running and you're just going. But with track, there's a lot of like, I'm going to do my jump and I'm going to sit, and then I'm going to do my jump and then I'm going to sit. So it's very different. Plus, I don't have to like jump over a bar or jump into the sand in basketball. So it is very different. But I think, with basketball, we stay in shape. Definitely Coach Nichols is keeping us that way this year for sure. So I'm never really worried about my shape, but it is a difference in what muscles and different things that you have to use, but that's why we go to AT.
That's exactly right. And also doing the jumps, maybe got a little extra bounce on the vertical. That always comes in handy. And a little hint there for our eager listeners. You're talking about staying in shape, being pushed by Coach Nichols. She's told me y'all are going to run some up-tempo style of play, so I'm excited to see that. But that's where we'll leave it. We don't want to give away too much of a scouting report. Anything else you wanted to mention while you were here?
Nope. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, of course. Thank you for your time and talking some hoops. I'm excited to see y'all on November 5th against Averett. So, for Lizzie Davis, I'm TJ Wingert. Until next week, we have a new episode for you. We are signing off.